They're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
The Shaggy Dog is back.
I'd like to know what's going on.
In an all-new world premiere movie.
You're a man, not a dog.
The king of the canines takes on an outrageous gang of dog nappers.
I've come to rescue you.
In a romantic comedy about real puppy love.
Aww, he's perfect.
The return of the Shaggy Dog.
Recording in Audacity.
Recording in Audacity.
Recording in Audacity.
Alright. I don't have
it.
Cool.
Why are we recording? Hello? What? What year is...
Hello,
I a
welcome to
dog?
Rough Cuts. This is my podcast now.
Well, welcome to Rough Cuts. This is Kobuddy's podcast now. Would you
It
like
is,
to do
it's
the
mine.
intro?
Ah, shit. What's your intro?
I don't know.
Oh. Well,
Hi,
Well,
we're a
anyway,
this
podcast
is
about
the
good boys
intro.
and bad movies. I'm your host, Ilyan. This is my wonderful co-host, Boix, and our third newest best co-host who's going to edit this episode now, Kobuddy.
Apparently, yeah. What?
Huh?
What?
And this week we watched, what we do is we watch a bad dog movie. We do good boys and bad movies. And then we rate the dogs immediately after watching the movie.
this one wasn't that bad.
No, it's not at all.
In terms of shit I've watched on this podcast, this is not one of the worst.
Oh, God, no.
No,
But this
no.
is The Return of the Shaggy Dog, is what that was?
Return of the Shaggy Dog, 1987, made-for-TV movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which got, as far as I can tell, a home video release only in Australia, and was otherwise broadcast twice on television
Yes.
in 87. So it's like, it's very much dead
Yeah,
media,
we're reviewing Lost Media here, folks.
Well,
apparently.
and it was introduced on TV by Michael Eisner, who
Yes.
then would...
On all fours with a collar, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It was actually introduced by him before every recording, with him in a collar, who he then attempts to put the transformation onto Wilby and turn him into a dog, but the curse reversed and hits Michael Eisner instead, and he becomes a dog. This is actually true.
I don't know if I can trust Michael Eisner being cursed for Disney. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
Right.
what has Michael Eisner ever done wrong for Disney?
This doesn't make any sense. I feel like Disney was cursed with Michael Eisner, not the other way around.
God. So, in theory, this is a sequel to the old 50s Shaggy Dog, the original one.
Yes. This is a sequel
But-
to the 50s one and a prequel to the 70s one.
Yes, a prequel to the 70s DA sequel.
Yes.
So, it's an in-between.
It's an in-betweener.
So, the main conceit of the Shaggy Dog,
Yes.
to put this into context, we've done 2 other Shaggy Dog movies,
Mhm.
which is another reason why Kobuddy's here.
Yeah, I'm the Shaggy Dog person, obviously. Yeah. This,
Loves Tim Allen, cannot
That's
get
right.
enough Tim Allen, goes home, watches Home Improvement again, reruns, plays the Super Nintendo game, just constantly. It's all I hear about Kobuddy.
yeah, that's me.
And we've done the Shaggy DA. So, the main conceit, though, is that there's a magic ring, which has been imbued with an incantation in Latin.
Yes.
Just in Latin.
Yeah.
That's it.
For the House
And
of
when you
Borgia.
read it,
Yeah.
and when you read it, it combines the soul of a dog with a human being, and the human becomes a dog man.
Do you think they wrote it in Latin because of the term dog Latin?
Is it pig Latin or dog Latin?
There's a phrase dog Latin that's usually mostly made up Latin, but
Do you think they just had him turn into a dog because he's got that dog in him? You
well,
know?
yeah, that goes without saying.
Obviously. That dog is also an Old English sheepdog, which is always one of the best comedy dogs in my mind. You gotta get that is a Shaggy Dog. They do nail that part of it.
It's true. It's true.
But yeah, the idea is that the House of Borgia, like the Italian noble house, got rid of their enemies by shape-shifting. I know this from the original Shaggy Dog and looking up background information on these movies at various points, because I actually kind of really like the Shaggy DA. Not the Tim Allen Shaggy Dog is a goddamn travesty to humanity, but...
Mostly because
You're saying
of
the
Tim
CGI...
Yes.
Mostly Tim Allen, but also Tim Allen's feet.
Allen.
And...
Honestly, everything about that movie kind of fucking blows.
Yeah.
That movie was pretty bad, yeah. It did have Iron Man on all fours running around like a dog.
That's true.
Just saying.
You bring up a good point, Blake. So.
You're into that.
I was going to say, that is something that a lot of people are into now, if I understand Robert Downey Jr.
But, okay, so a made-for-TV movie. It's an 87 film that looks like it was shot in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's got 50 sensibilities of jokes.
Yes.
What?
I feel like some of that was on purpose.
Some of it. Like, it's just straight up slapstick.
Yeah.
Just tongue-in-cheek goofiness. It's not what I would expect out of an 80s film.
No.
Late 80s, at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like this is almost 90s. It's like you said, 87.
87, yeah.
87, yeah. I mean, it is Disney. So, you know, it's got that little bit of undertone of tiny bit of racism and sexism. But other than that, you know.
It's the general like Disney whitewashed Americana.
Yeah.
Everybody's a white suburbanite with like a picket fence and
It's almost like Walt Disney wanted Epcot to be some big white neighborhood. Some glorious return to the... Anyways. Let's not get into that with the Shaggy Dog.
I actually kind of like this movie.
Maybe not the time when we're talking about the Shaggy Dog returns or the return of the Shaggy Dog.
No, yeah, okay. Woo. Anyway, sorry, we got
a little political here.
You know what? I think it's the lemonade.
Oh, you drinking that Panera lemonade?
Someone spiked my lemonade. I don't know who, but...
The L in LSD does not stand for lemonade, boys.
Hey, this podcast got off the
Anyway. I don't know why this movie's fine. What are we doing?
Yeah, we do have quite a bit to talk about. I don't know why we're getting so distracted.
I don't know why we're derailing this hard. Because this is a fine movie that I want to talk about. There's good moments in this thing. What are we doing?
I take no blame in this. This is
Blake's just trying to make this the hardest thing for me to edit possible. But yeah, like it's a lot of very slapstick kind of dumb like pun humor and like cringy misunderstandings.
Extremely big into misunderstanding humor, yes.
Oh yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And like there's right away within 5 minutes, like Kobuddy, you didn't realize that the Shaggy Dog, like the old ones, are actually pretty good. And
I did not.
Yeah, you were looking at it from the Shaggy Dog with Tim Allen, and so you pick this and you're like, oh god, I'm sorry, oh, this is gonna be miserable. And then 5 minutes in, there's like a thing where she goes, you know, you don't normally criticize my driving this much, as she's driving and she's just like going off the road like
she runs into a bunch of traffic cones.
And it's like, okay, wait, is this actually kind of funny? And it's like, yes, yeah, these movies are actually
yeah, it's pretty funny.
Pretty fucking good. Because for those that don't know, the Shaggy DA, it's so funny, we did the episode right before somebody else on like Twitter found GIFs of the dog doing
it randomly got popular.
Huge punch. And so like a week after we aired that episode, it went viral showing like the dog doing all the stupid dog stunts because they have him in a dog costume, like reading newspapers, punching people, jumping out of windows. And it's...
Is that like a roller rink, like roller derby? Yeah, it's goofy and weird.
Yeah, and this one very much follows that tradition. And honestly, we'd know it right away. I don't know SNL that well, but I was looking up some stuff around this. The main character that plays Wilby Daniels is an SNL cast member of the time. He had just got off of SNL.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's Gary Kroger, who was on SNL from 82 to 85.
Okay,
Funny,
that makes sense.
Who now has the Gary and Kenny show on YouTube with 353 subscribers. Sorry, Gary. Hate to do that to you.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough, Gary. Yeah.
He did interview James Rolfe for his podcast, the Gary and Kenny show, though, so that's cool.
Oh, really? Yeah. All of the actors, I think, in this are pretty good. They're all, like, pretty standard TV actors or cartoon voice actors. Mm-hmm. They're all industry, like, just constantly in the industry making stuff. And they're good. And apparently, so, the housekeeper, her name is, I think, Myra.
Yes.
In the movie. But that's played by Jane Carr.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen Jane Carr, apparently, twice.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't remember her. But she was great in this movie. She was in Air Buddies,
she had
apparently.
Some very good delivery on her lines, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's in a ton of cartoons doing voice work. Just a great actor for those types of roles as far as, like, British comedian goes. It's good stuff.
She has some of the best line delivery by far. Like, there's... Yeah. It's
just that dry British, like, sarcastic humor that I think is so funny.
And there's something about her accent that really
hits.
Nails things. Like, I'm just going to put in the, "You're stupid," again here for a quick moment.
Cole, let me explain something to you. You're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really, really great line delivery from her. And honestly, there's so many different things. Like, I loved every character for different reasons. I enjoyed this thing start to finish. It starts out with Wilby Daniels. Like, he's getting married to this woman, and that's the criticize my driving, which is, she's pretty great too, honestly, and just driving over all these cones because she's so distracted about the wedding. Drops him off. He's an attorney now, which obviously because they have to have the Shaggy DA later on, so they're maintaining continuity, you see.
Shaggy Dog Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
I mean, there is one. That's the thing.
He happens to see so his wife, well, his fiance rather, sees a car, like this Porsche or something, and she's like, "Oh, isn't that Moochie's car?" And he's like, "No, my brother's not supposed to be back. He's too much of an..." Ah, shit, it says Moochie on the license plate.
Moochie on the license plate.
And man,
God,
Moochie
the Mooch
Daniels
gets his own license plate. He's real upset that he's 32 and still going by the name Moochie. But you know what?
He owns
He's
it.
a Moochie.
He would do great in modern times.
Like I was gonna say, I even loved, like, Moochie's really good as a character. Like, every single character in this movie to me had something going for them.
I said, "God damn it, Moochie," multiple times throughout this entire movie.
Oh yeah, Moochie is a gigantic moron, but like
He's a massive
everybody
fuck-up.
is. Yeah, everybody's like
true.
a weird, like caricature in some way for the most part. Like they do a good job of like Moochie's this weirdo, and Wilby is, I would say, one of the straight men of the film. But he's
supposed to be, yeah.
But he also keeps getting turned into a dog. So imagine the straight man, but he's constantly like having to deal with turning into a dog. And then the other side of the straight man thing for this, because like they have all these really weird characters, is they have an ad lady who's working with Moochie, who is another straight man in the movie for when Wilby is a dog. So you always have like a bunch of zany people around like this one thing that's like, God damn it, everybody just act normal, please. God damn it.
And I think that's an important part of comedy. You have to have something that is quote-unquote normal to compare to the goofiness.
Yes.
Otherwise, there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not funny at all, which a lot of movies forget, I think. And when every character is just that level, like 11 of silliness, then they're all like a 6.
Well, and what happens with that, too, is I feel like we get into the realm of, what was the one with Shaq and like Will Arnett?
Show dogs.
Yes, where we get into the
where
show
it was
dogs.
just loud noise.
Where it's loud noise, and finally Kate Mikushi, like 3/4 of the way through the movie, her character goes, "Can we just have a moment of silence?" And the movie goes quiet for 30 seconds, and both of Boyks and I immediately went,
Yeah.
"Oh, thank God."
Yeah, and the ad lady's character's name, I think, what was it? Laura.
Man,
she's played by.
I'll be totally honest. Outside of Moochie, I
Yeah.
barely remember the characters' names in this.
This is the Moochie movie. It's Moochie. Everybody loves Moochie.
He does get called Munchie at one point.
There is a Munchie reference in this movie.
World's greatest criminal.
But that's played by Cindy Morgan, who is also, I think, she's a main character in Caddyshack.
Yes.
And also the original Tron.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep. I was
82.
gonna
So like
mention that. Yep.
she's not just like a bit actor for TV. You know?
Wild.
Like there's a reason why she was so good.
Yeah, exactly. Like that.
Yeah.
That's the thing with these early like Shaggy movies before they get to Tim Allen is that
Scooby-Doo likes.
yeah, it has that old classic Disney quality in that they can buy quality actors and like decent, camera work and stuff. Like there's nothing incredible about it, but like they have stunts. Like we were talking about like, oh, well,
they do have stunts.
we said, there's not going to be a transformation scene because this is a made for TV movie. So like, what are the odds they actually put any budget into this one? We're not going to get a wild transformation scene. Right away, we're getting wild transformation scenes. Like immediately, we're getting transformation bullshit. We get actual car chases. Like
it's a really long car chase.
Yeah.
Too.
Like they actually have quite a bit of budget in this thing, which is nice.
Surprising how much money they put into this to just immediately throw it into obscurity afterwards.
Yeah,
that's modern stuff, not 80s. Come on.
Yeah.
Because
you're supposed to cancel it. Yeah, it aired twice, released in one region on VHS. There is a single tape on eBay that I can find in an Australian region code. So you would have to get your own special VCR to even play it, right? If you're not in that region.
Yeah. Dang.
Like, God, what are they thinking? And anyway, so there's stunts, there's good costuming, there's very good line delivery and acting overall. Surprising TV movie. So the movie starts with a guy dying, a rich guy, and his like housekeepers and his butler are at his bed trying to like coax him into giving them all of his stuff.
Yeah.
Even though they just started working there 6 weeks ago,
Oh,
but he's
a very
delirious
long
and
6 weeks.
Yes.
yeah, but he's like out of it and old, and he doesn't realize what's going on.
How long have you worked for me again? Oh, so long, sir, so long.
So he gives them his most important possession, the dog, and then gifts the ring to Wilby, who they don't know, and immediately he drops the ring into a grate that's sitting directly next to his bed, and then he dies.
And what is, I think, is supposed to be a fucking reference to Citizen Kane?
Is it?
Yes, I think actually, yeah.
Because
I think
like,
you're right.
Oh my God.
Says,
Like
fucking,
the Rosebud.
Yeah, he says movie or whatever the main character's name is, like Rosebud, yeah.
Wilby. Like Rosebud.
And then they go, all right, wait, who the fuck is Wilby? And the best part about that to me, like, it's something that's very forgivable because of how goofy this movie is. Like, they don't care about the plot. Ultimately, it's just about the situations. But it's very, very funny that they're sitting there on his deathbed listening to all this stuff and being like, and you're going to give it to us, right? Like, oh, this ring's worth a lot of money. And he says, like, no, I give it to Wilby. And it's like, there's no one else in the room. You could just, you could just take it.
You could
like,
just... They could just grab a pillow and smother
They could just rob the house
write a
and
will.
leave.
They
Yeah,
could just
like,
leave. Yeah.
they're acting like they have to do this whole like legal thing and get like his will and testament, and it's like, yo, guys, it's not that complicated.
There was not a
No.
lawyer present.
No.
No, because Wilby's the lawyer.
That's
And,
true.
and he works with his brother Moochie. But Moochie's a fraud.
Yeah.
A flake, specifically, is what they keep
A
on calling
flake
him.
is the word they say, but they mean fraud.
Yes.
Absolutely. He's so good at lying that he lied himself into this job. Which we know because he's fucking awful at lying.
He's the absolute worst liar of
so
all
bad at
time.
lying.
So, to set up the situation here, and I'll let Kobuddy maybe handle the lie itself, but Moochie and Wilby, the main character, go into his office kind of thing, and there's all these dogs. He's doing an ad agency thing with dogs, and then I don't quite understand why they're in the same building right now, but whatever.
I think Moochie's just working out of Wilby's office because he
Yeah,
has nothing.
Because
Yeah.
his like lawyer office is like
Yeah.
right next to Moochie's office.
Yeah, the ad agency stuff. Yes, I think that you're right that he's just operating out of his brother's office.
I think it's implied that Wilby just gave him a spot to work.
Yeah. So Wilby's in his office now, and he gets in like one of his clients. As the criminals find the ring and read the inscription on it, which from the Shaggy Dog 1 curses Wilby to turn into a dog, and his brother breaks in at the same time as he's turning into a dog in front of this client. He's just wrecking the client too, by the way, where like he managed to talk the guy down because like the guy has zero standing for his lawsuit essentially, and he's like, okay, like we'll settle this, like listen, like you can't sue over this kind of thing.
It was over leaves.
Like, you need to sue everybody.
Yeah, Moochie, yo, you should fucking take that guy to court.
Just encouraging all the wrong
Moochie.
behavior.
Yeah, Moochie comes in, talks about he's gonna sue every dog in that's auditioning.
Oh, everybody that came for the fucking dog commercial, they're lying. None of those dogs have any goddamn talent.
I'm gonna sue all of them. And so as he's distracting the client, Wilby turns into a dog. And the client turns around and is like, what the hell? There's a dog there. And then the Moochie is stuck now trying to cover for his brother who turned into a dog there. Because he knows, apparently, from the previous movie, what happened, like that he can turn into a dog sometimes. And Moochie gets some interesting lies happening right away.
Yeah, he just, sometimes my brother just, dresses up in a dog suit and goes underneath the desk. It's completely normal. I don't see what the problem is.
Anyway, get the hell out of my office.
Like, what kind of excuse is that? Yeah, no, he just does this sometimes. Don't worry about it. Like, it's like, God damn it, Moochie. Because he immediately goes, oh, he left the room. And he goes, well, the door's still closed. Oh, yeah, no, actually, he's a furry. And he goes underneath his desk when he's stressed. The 50s were the start of furries. That's what this is.
What?
But it's 87. But it's
all like it's the 50s. They drive 50s cars a bunch of times in this.
So anyways, Wilby gets out of the office by climbing out the window. But then Moochie and Wilby in dog form stumble upon Laura, the ad agency girl.
Yes.
And she's like, oh, you found a dog. Great. I'll take him with me back to my house, since nobody owns him, apparently, because you're fucking terrible at lying, Moochie.
Yes. Yeah,
he could have just said he owns the dog.
You could have just said he's my dog.
Nope.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, no one owns this dog. Well, it's for the ad, right? Yes. It's like, you could just say no. You're allowed to say no here, Moochie. Also, key thing here is he's sneaking out because his fiance is showing up trying to see him.
Right. Wilby wanted to tell his secretary that he wasn't there because he turned into a dog.
Yes.
But Betty doesn't believe him, so she goes to see him. And he's gone. But she catches Moochie outside saying, Wilby, you forgot your shit. as Laura is driving off with Wilby Dog in her car.
Wilby
Yes,
in
this-
dog form, yes.
So now suddenly this beautiful woman is driving a car away, and she doesn't know who's in the car other than Moochie said, "Oh, it's Wilby." So she doesn't see that it's a dog in the car. Oh no!
Yeah, specifically
Oh.
Moochie says, like, Wilby, you can't go with her, or some shit like that.
Oh my god, yeah.
Also, I did want to mention, because there's one of my favorite line reads and like jokes in the movie in this part where I made a note, where Wilby is, his wife comes in, fiance comes in and is like, I need to see Wilby. And the secretary calls him up, and he's talking to her, and he goes, no, tell her I'm out. And hangs up the phone. And it's on, like, speakerphone, it seems, right? Like, where, like, she can hear it, so she's kind of, like, rolling her eyes, like, okay, listen, I need to go and see my fiancé. What the hell is he doing? And goes in there and opens the door, and there's no one in there because they snuck out the window. And the secretary goes, I thought he was lying about, like, him being gone. And it's like, God damn it, that's such a good joke. Like, it's such a police squad bit of, like, well, he had to have been he called you from the office, you dumb woman.
Right.
It's just perfect. It's such a great delivery of it.
Betty goes back to her job and is talking to her coworker friend about how it's really weird that Wilby went off in this car with some lady.
Yes.
Some hot babe. And the friend is just all in on, like, oh, fuck that guy.
Immediately
piece
going
of
to
shit.
cheating, yes.
Well, maybe he didn't leave, right? Oh, what? Yeah, maybe he just got hit by a truck. I don't know. He just got dead. I don't know.
You know what men are like. They're all dogs. Wink, wink. Yeah.
Hey, your mom's calling. Do you want me to tell her that you dumped that 2-timing slut?
They don't say slut, for the record.
It really felt like they were going to, though.
They did
I
feel
don't
like
know.
it.
Every
I
single
don't
one of
know.
us. She starts saying it, and we're like, slut, and we're like, what? And then she goes, slug, and we're like, oh yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, sure, yeah.
I mean, no, saying
Disney.
slut would make more sense, but...
No,
For
slut
Disney,
would make
though.
more sense.
For Disney, though, is what I mean. Okay, well, actually, Walt Disney would say that, but I'm talking about, like, for their movie. Not behind closed doors. We don't want... We already did the political thing at the beginning with Boyks. We don't...
Yeah, that's the Steamboat Willie movie.
Oh my god.
When Disney walks out in his zombified corpse with his head in a jar, being held in its arms, going like, you...
I don't want to
slut.
talk about how he's calling people sluts in the Steamboat Willie movie, Boyks, please.
No, that's my
do.
version of Steamboat Willie, since it's right.
Yeah, everybody can have their
Yeah.
own version of Steamboat
Since
Willie.
it's
That's
no longer
true.
All right?
public domain,
Like,
yeah.
maybe your movie doesn't have that, but that's because it's a worse version.
Yeah, my version
know,
of Steamboat
we're
Willie
gonna
calls
make-
people sluts all the time.
If we're gonna make Steamboat Willie better, we do need to add a lot of sluts. This is fair.
Anyway. So Laura takes Wilby back to her house and then does the most logical thing that would happen in any Disney movie. Gets naked. Jumps in the shower.
Sure does.
It's just so you can have maximum embarrassment, is what it is. It's so that it's all... It's done less creepy, for the most part, than you'd think.
Yes. Because, well, sort of. Because Moochie also, like, climbs in her window while she's in a towel. Like, it's definitely creepy.
Sure, but what I'm saying is they don't, like... It's not like the guys are like, whoa! And, like...
Yeah,
Eyes
it's not
popping,
pervy.
Eyes popping
not-
out
it's
of their
not-
heads.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, wow, I'm glad I broke in here. Woo, good timing. Like, there's none of that. Like, it's not the like, if this starred Chevy Chase, there would be a very different
There would
vibe
definitely
to him
be a
breaking
different
into the
vibe,
window,
yeah.
right?
That-
like,
Honestly, it reminds me more of, I've talked about this movie before on the podcast, but The Kid Detective, which is a movie about a kid who ran a detective agency, but then he gets older, and he hasn't grown out of the detective agency business, And he has to do a home invasion to go spy on someone like he used to as a kid by, like, hiding in their closet. But it's way creepier when he's in his 20s.
But all of a sudden, that's no longer cutesy. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same type of thing. Where it's like, this could be way worse.
Mm-hmm.
At least they kind of kept it. But they still wanted to have a little sexiness, you know?
There's definitely a lot of innuendo in this. I mean, it's all set
Oh,
up
yeah.
for him to
Yeah.
be out, like, going around town with all of these mystery women while his fiance's chasing him and going, what the fuck is happening?
It's definitely more of an adult plot than a kid's plot for a movie. Yeah. And it's odd. I don't see this type of humor that much in a lot of more modern films, even though this is a TV movie, which is weird this would have played on Disney Channel, right? Like, this is...
Well, this is... Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the audience was, but anyway, so after
you gotta
Moochie
have
climbs in her
something
window
for
while
the,
she's naked in a towel, he hides under her bed.
Yeah, like Kobuddy's saying, you gotta have something for the adults.
Yeah.
But he hides under her bed, and she's like, "Oh, Wilby, my cool dog. I bet you're under the bed. Let me look." And Moochie's like, "Well, if you want. I mean, I'm down here." I'm just saying.
Yeah, I have a note. I think that this is the moment where I had, "Hi, I'm Moochie Daniels." He just comes out of the bed. Like, she goes, "I promise I won't hurt you." And he goes, "Well, if you promise," and jumps out of the bed. And it's like, Moochie, no.
I was just here to be a creepy weirdo. What's up? I'm Moochie.
Also, at some point, we do learn that Moochie's Christian name is Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's Moochie.
Oh,
He's
he is
I
Moochie,
know, yeah,
but-
no, he's. I've never seen a more Moochie man than this guy. So anyways, the housekeeper and the butler recite the incantation again because the butler's trying to, like, research what the incantation means by reading a Latin dictionary.
Yes.
And it turns Wilby back into a human, but now he's also a home invader.
Mm-hmm. So now there's
What a
two
wacky
home
situation. And they're brothers. God damn it.
I think this is the plot of a Home Alone movie.
But yeah, he was like going down the laundry chute at the time to try and get out of the house as a dog, and that was the only way that he could get out of the room. But now he's a human in the laundry chute, so there's all just this wacky hijinks. And eventually, Moochie leads Laura downstairs, or Lori or Laura or whatever, the ad lady.
Yeah, because Wilby climbs out of the laundry chute while Laura's looking under the bed.
Yes.
For Wilby. And then he, like, ushers Wilby out of the window.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's climbing out of her window, that's when Betty drives by with her mom.
Yes, exactly. And it, honestly, I kind of loved the way that they handled this, because you'd think, like, they up the embarrassment factor a lot in these scenes. Like, they're really good at turning that cringe knob up, as Kobuddy was saying.
Yeah, they sure are.
Because he doesn't just get caught by them. He sees them and he's like, "Oh, hi! Where are you guys going?" And, like, hops in the car with them as they think that he's, like, having an affair.
It's like an I think you should leave skit, right? Like, it's a, "Oh, hey, how's it going? I was just up in that lady's window." Crazy stuff. Where are we going?
Yeah, you guys got lunch yet, or... Where's good to eat? Then he just hops in the back seat while they're stopped in the street because they saw him having an obvious affair, they think, with this other woman.
But no,
it's
this
very
is normal.
good. Oh my god. So then I think what happens after that is Wilby goes over to Betty's house for dinner with the folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's, like, calling a bunch of people on the phone, trying to get a hold of... one, he thinks something must have happened to the ring because he keeps transforming. So he calls the mansion.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, where's the guy with the ring?" "Oh, he's at a farm upstate."
Well, the guy, I can't remember the guy's name, but...
Professor Plumcut.
No,
something
I
like
meant
that,
the housekeeper.
Oh,
housekeeper.
yeah, I don't actually
Carl?
remember his.
Sure,
Oh,
Carl.
Carl.
I think.
Carl, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Mira and Carl.
Yeah,
I think, or
Carl's like,
Myra.
oh, well, he's sick. And then Mira gets on the phone and says that, oh, he's never felt better. Very, very, very paying attention,
I know-
these two.
Myra's always being sarcastic as shit to Carl,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so funny.
Yeah, like when he was trying to learn
Oh,
Latin.
man. I'm gonna learn Latin so we can know what the inscription says. That way we can come up with a plan to sell it and get rich. Carl, I'm gonna say this once. You are so stupid.
Stupid.
It's like, man.
Yeah, she gets on the phone and she goes, no, he's actually feeling fine. He's out for a walk right now, in fact. A very long walk.
Yep. And then the housekeeper.
Which, again, if they're going to
and-
make it so that the guy's, they're faking that he isn't dead and they're just robbing him, they didn't need to honor any will and testament that he...
No. But the housekeeper and the butler, after translating the very obvious Latin,
Mm-hmm.
Think it's gold?
Myra.
I wonder what he meant about it having powers beyond our comprehension.
transforming into a dog, what could that mean? What would transform into a dog? What thing would do that? Or someone?
Time for blackmail.
Let's blackmail that person.
Which, honestly, yeah, fair enough. No, not a bad
One
plan.
of their best plans, I would say, so far, yeah.
Yep. But so Wilby starts turning into a dog at the dinner with his fiance, who's very mad at him because she caught him crawling out the window of a hot woman's house.
Which there's another really good joke in this scene. Of fucking, she constantly, like, is doing the most pettiest shit to him, like, overpouring his drink or slamming the mashed potatoes onto his plate. Then her father's been, like, sharpening these knives throughout the entire scene. And when he goes over to hand the knives, she excitedly tries to reach out and grab them.
Oh, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah, I like her character a lot because she's kind of at 11 at all times. Like, she's just super jumpy about everything.
Yeah.
Like, she's so stressed about the wedding, like her running over the traffic cones in the beginning. And then the minute that he starts seeming like he's having an affair, she's trying so hard. She's like, I love him so much, but I'm gonna fucking kill him. And she's just constantly, like, suppressing this rage about everything all the time. Like, she catches
It's
him
so
in the
good.
other room making the call to the manor, and she's like, who are you calling? My love? And he's like, oh, just somebody. And she's like, oh, okay, why don't we come back and sit down then? And she's just like... But she's willing to forgive it all constantly. Like, that's the other fun side of it, is she's like, no, you know what? I'm not giving up on him. No hussy can steal my man from me.
I know for a fact Wilby's too much of a fucking loser for anyone else.
Pretty much, yeah. That's
Great. Pretty much what she says. It's like, okay. So Wilby transforms into a dog at the dinner and goes under the table.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody's looking around. They're like, where'd Wilby go? He's gone. I was just talking to him. And under the table, in dog form, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm under the table eating yams.
I'm in my
like
special
you do.
yam place.
He's doing his yam pervert shit, yeah.
And
This
it's
is my
like when he
yam
starts to,
palace.
like,
Don't come in.
look under the table. It's like, hey, I didn't say you could look at me eat yams. Keep your eyes fucking up there, losers. This is my yam hole. What?
The dumb excuses really run in this family. They're very, very bad at covering.
Yeah, and he just, like, runs out with the tablecloth over him. Like, doing the whole pulling the tablecloth, but leaving all the stuff on the table joke.
Yes.
And he runs to Moochie's house / shitty apartment. and they're coming up with a plan about what to do and to go back to the mansion and get the ring and all that. And then Laura stops by to talk to Moochie, who's going to help her with the commercial the next day because Wilby went missing. Wilby Dog Wilby.
Mm-hmm.
And she finds Dog Wilby there with Moochie, and she's fucking pissed that he stole the dog. She's like, you put fucking pajamas on a dog! What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, which, I don't know. That seems like the less egregious thing here, but that's just me.
I'm glad this answers the question of how a dog would wear pajamas, though.
Yeah, it's like all four legs, just the back legs.
Just the back legs, it turns out.
Just the back legs, yeah, figured it out. And I think Betty then shows up at Laura's house.
Yes, that's where,
She
like I
wants
said,
answers.
Betty is
Yeah.
unwilling to let go of her man. She's like,
Yep.
you know what? Wilby is hot. He's desirable. I understand that other women are going to want that, but god damn it, I'm not giving up on him. She's like a fucking... She's such a weird character. Like, she's just so all in on this. Like, no, I'm not giving up on him. And she goes over there and she's like, listen, you might think that you've got him, but you don't love him. Not really. And she's just having this big
But
conversation.
Laura only knows Wilby as a dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just like, you love a dog?
This is one of, to me, I thought that this conversation was one of the funniest things in the entire movie, because it's the misunderstanding innuendos around the whole thing are so good, where, because Betty is such a wild character, and then pairing her with the very straight-laced Laura, who's just sitting there going like, they let you do that around here?
They let you do that? Well, I mean, my mom and dad were not okay with it originally, but I got them around to the idea
They would have
of
preferred
marrying a dog.
They would have preferred I married a man from college.
Yes.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
goes, all
I
right,
mean,
I guess
maybe-
they would prefer a man. Like, just-
Yeah, man would have been my choice, too.
yes, yeah, that's the one, yeah.
That's the... Like, there's all these bestiality jokes being made here. And it's like, god damn
The
it.
line that got me in particular was when Betty was going on about all this, and Laura responds with, "Have you tried talking to someone about this?"
Yeah.
God, and she says something about like him being, listen, but he's so hot, kind of thing. Like, I can't remember exactly what it says. She says too.
Yeah, because like Laura says something like, "Oh, he's real wild," but she's talking about like a dog.
Yes,
and Betty's like, "Oh, you hussy." or
Yeah,
something.
oh, yeah,
It's like, how dare you?
Mm-hmm.
Just tell him to come to the fucking wedding practice, all right?
Yeah, she's like, all right, listen, you just, I don't need to know what he's doing here. I don't care, but you just have him at 2:00 p.m. sharp, and he's got to be there for our rehearsal. And it,
Yeah.
one of the other lines I just remembered is, she's like, you keep your hands off of him. She's like, I don't put my hands on him. Well, I do pet him every once in a
I
while.
pet him sometimes. I mean, yeah.
Which, just,
God damn it.
woo. It's a good scene. And Wilby Dog is like upstairs doing like all this. This is the other thing that I really, really like about this movie. And I actually had a note for myself of, you know, I really do want to return to tradition, to the Walt Disney days of old, where, you know, you had a dog
Here we
movie and it's
go.
about the dogs. But like, they put the dog
Yeah.
in pajamas, they put the dog like driving cars, the dog's like locking doors and opening doors.
They're at least
and
all in on the premise.
they're all
Yeah.
in on it being about the dog.
And-
like he's
and you were
upstairs and
saying-
the dog's embarrassed and he's covering his eyes and stuff. Like he's doing all the cute
Yeah.
dog shit the whole time.
But you were saying this would be a different movie if it was Chevy Chase. I think this would be a better movie if it was Gary Busey.
Yeah, you bring up a good point
Yes.
there. Yeah.
yeah.
Just saying, you know. Anyways,
Sorry,
so
Gary Kroger, but you're the lesser Gary.
the lesser Gary. Fuck. Oh man. Anyway, so the next day is the commercial shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So Moochie takes Wilby in dog form to go shoot the commercial, and there's some very funny stuff going on in this scene.
Fucking the dog progressively doing more outlandish things. Like, it's
Yeah.
about like what you would expect from like a dog advertisement at first, and then you see the dog like doing like poker and shit.
Yes.
Karate.
Yeah, he praising karate porn at one point.
opening a can of dog food, shuffling cups with like a ball under them.
Yeah, he's doing a shell game. Like,
Yeah, the shell game.
It's definitely a police academy joke, is what it is. So
why was he in a top hat and monocle at one point? There's one point where he's got a top, and he's doing something else. I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they have him breaking boards as Karate Man. Like, it's just a whole montage of a bunch of wild shit.
Yeah. So then, after the shoot, because the housekeeper and the butler drive by and read the incantation during the commercial shoot, turning Wilby back into a human to confirm who they need to blackmail.
Yeah. Specifically, they turn him into a human, of course, as he jumps into a bush to retrieve a frisbee so that nobody sees the transformation. Because that's important. Nobody can know.
Look, we only have so much budget.
Yes. Well, also, it would totally destroy the plot if everybody just saw him immediately transform, because...
And when you transform back, it splits the dog from Wilby. So they're two separate entities.
Yeah, this is a real wild conceit about these.
For some reason.
Yeah, that was confusing. Because it's not like the actual dog really ever does anything.
No, it's not really important other than for this confusion that happens afterwards.
Yeah, and that's
it.
What's weird is so much how the dog doesn't do anything, and also it doesn't feel like the dog's required. Like, it turns him into a dog. Why does it have to be that dog? Why does he turn into a dog that already exists? Like, it has to be an extant dog in the world. But it doesn't body swap. Like, you're thinking oh, okay, well, they swap bodies. It's like, no, it just, the dog disappears and becomes the man. You're like, well, but it's just a weird, it's a really strange conceit.
But why? Yeah. So anyways, Wilby goes back to the mansion and confronts the housekeeper and the butler. While Moochie takes the dog back, thinking it's Wilby, to the wedding rehearsal. Mm-hmm. Which creates a whole thing of, Betty just mad that, well, if he wasn't going to show up, why did he lie to me? Why wouldn't he just say, it's off and I don't want to get married? Why would he do this dumb bullshit? Mm-hmm. Which, fair.
And you get Moochie telling all the guests, no, just wait. He's just got cold feet. Let me talk to him. While he's in the gazebo talking to a dog and being like, listen, man, she's really good for you. You should just man up. Come on. All
right. Look, Betty, I'm going to tell you something. This does not leave this gazebo.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It does not leave the walls of this gazebo.
And everybody's surrounding the gazebo, so they can just hear him.
I was going to say, as he yells it out loud, basically.
Yeah, well, he yells it out loud and tells everybody to come into the gazebo and calls them all by group so they can hear and listen to it.
Yes, Moochie's a fucking idiot. He's just don't let this secret out. Anyway, everyone, listen to my secret. Come on in. Come in. This is good shit. Trust me, you gotta hear this.
Yep. So
fucking Moochie.
So he tells everybody that Wilby's the dog, ruining the whole wedding. And at the same time, Wilby gets turned back into the dog as he's trying to threaten the two criminals with a statue that he found.
Yeah,
which is very heavy.
The inscription instead and turn him.
And then not only do they catch Wilby, they do the funniest thing possible on screen. Mm-hmm. And they put him in a chair and tie a dog up.
Yeah. They also gag him, which also leads to a pretty good line in my opinion, where the Carl or whatever his name is asks him a question, and
but
the dog and Wilby can't speak because he's gagged. Mm-hmm. So he also does the gag to let Wilby speak.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's just incredible to see this big, very lazy and easygoing sheepdog with a bunch of loose rope around it, essentially tied to a chair. It's just sitting there going is this what I gotta do? I just gotta sit in this chair. And it's a good dog.
We never did
Moochie's
learn,
had enough.
We never did learn where he bit Carl.
Oh yeah, Carl said he got bit. later on when the cops show up.
Mm-hmm.
Because Moochie brings the cops.
Yes.
And he's like, I am done with this shit. We're here. You have my brother. You've abducted him. I want him back. And the butler and the housekeeper are both like, do you have a warrant?
Well, worse than that. So this was very funny that like they kind of have one or two moments where Moochie and Carl are actually the smart ones in the scene. Like,
sure.
Where Wilby is breaking into Laura's house with Moochie at one point. I think it was Laura's house or maybe the manor. And Moochie is outside, like, trying to lift up a window with gloves on.
Oh, yeah?
And Wilby comes in and he's got no gloves and just opens. He's like, come on, just get in. And he's like, you're leaving prints everywhere, man. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
My name's Moochie and I know crime. Like, you need to not do that. And then here, Carl's like, let me see your fucking warrant, cops. And Myra goes, no, we've got nothing to hide. Come right in. And it's like, no.
Myra, no.
Myra, you're stupid.
Stupid.
But
I'm sitting there going, listen, they don't have a man tied up, but they do have, like, an obvious animal cruelty case here with this dog tied up.
And the cops see the dog tied up. They're like, are we supposed to shoot him?
I know, I realized at the last second, I'm like, fuck, this is what cops are into. Cops are fine with this.
Like, all right, here's a gun. Shoot it when we leave. I mean, it's fine.
We're not going to make this illegal. It would put us out of a job.
So the two criminals don't really know what to do to get money out of this situation. So they end up calling Laura now that they know the commercial's successful. And they're like, hey, we have your dog. We want $100,000 in unmarked bills. $100 million. Yes.
It's basically a Dr. Evil thing because it's just an ad dog.
Yeah,
like,
it's just an ad dog.
That she just did one commercial shoot with one time. She's never seen it.
It hasn't even aired.
It hasn't even aired. No idea.
Yeah. So Laura then drives to the mansion with a briefcase of money. And Betty, who has had enough of this shit, decides, no, the wedding's still on. I'm fucking getting that asshole Wilby, and he's coming here and marrying my ass.
Mm-hmm. She's basically, like, loading a shotgun as she's going in. Like, in her bridal gown and everything. Like, because everybody's leaving and packing things up, and she goes downstairs. She goes, no, I'm not giving up that easy. Fuck this asshole. It's like, fucking jumps in a car. Like, this is why I love Betty. It's like, man, she is loyal. Like, she
is not gonna give up. That's damn sure.
No.
That's my man. I'm taking him.
So as Laura's handing off the briefcase of money, the criminals open it up and immediately count it. And they're like, this is only $1,000. What the fuck? Hey, take it or leave it. It's a fucking ad dog. Yeah. All right?
I did love that they addressed that Laura's just like... Because also the thing is it doesn't seem like Laura's rich. Like, she's not just going to have $100,000 lying around. So she's like, I don't know, here's $500. Fucking give me the dog or not. I don't give a shit.
Look, I'm trying, all right? What do you want?
Like, at some point, we're gonna get diminishing returns from this fucking ad.
Yes.
So Betty shows up and climbs in the window in her wedding gown. Is like, how fucking dare you? Give me Wilby back. I'll bash your brains in.
Yeah, she's gone and then full war bride.
Full war bride. Wilby sees a suit of armor with a very sharp axe and starts hopping towards it, tied to the chair. Mm-hmm. And then the axe falls down, slicing him in twine. And he's fucking dead. And then the movie ends. And it was a pretty good film up until that point. But it's very sad that they showed a bisected dog.
I was actually really sad that I thought that after he got out of that we were going to get a dog in armor.
Yeah.
I wanted that dog to put on that armor.
I wanted that dog to put on that armor so bad.
IMO.
It was a real missed opportunity. Like, I really was waiting for there to be, like, a knight coming in and
Like,
punch Carl
yes,
and then
'cause-
flip up the visor and it's the dog.
It's the dog, and he still has the axe, and it would have been so fucking funny.
No, I don't go that far.
Oh, man. But instead he just, hops on Carl and punches him in the face with his dog paw, and that's still kind of funny.
And he beats on Carl for a good 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's just kind of sitting there having a conversation on the side. Myra's just sitting there, sipping her tea and talking to everyone else. And then, Carl, you're stupid. Get out of that dog.
Yeah, it's by the time, all while fucking Wilby is beating up Carl, fucking Myra takes Betty hostage.
That's true.
Drags her all the way out to the car until they get to the car that he finally gives one final punch and knocks Carl out.
Yes.
Yeah, this is where we get a huge chase scene.
A wacky chase happens. So
Very crazy chase scene happens.
Moochie steals a pizza van. Myra leaves in her car with Betty. Wilby, in dog form, steals Betty's car.
Yes.
And starts driving as a dog. Funny.
I also want to mention that Moochie does not steal the pizza van. The pizza guy delivers the pizza.
True.
And he goes, here, I need to borrow your van for a while. I'll pay you for it. It's rental. And he gives the guy money. And then
$20.
runs to go to the car. And then he goes, wait, that was too much. And runs back and grabs a couple of dollars from him and runs back to the car again.
It's like he starts doing the math in his head of the tip for the pizza. He's like, no, that was too much.
Whoa, wait, hold up. Goes back and grabs a 20 out of his hand. The pizza driver's just what the piece of shit?
It happens so fast,
So Moochie comes and saves Laura from Carl, because her and Carl were left at the mansion, and Laura takes the ring during this moment. And then there's wacky car chases, driving over stuff, the cops get involved, everything.
At one point, Myra's driving away, and Betty's like, all right, I'm sick of this shit. We were like, okay, how are we going to resolve, Betty being taken away by Myra?
Yeah.
Because they resolve a lot of the different chase elements that have happened, but Myra still has Betty kidnapped. And Betty just finally is like, why the fuck am I putting up with this shit? And turns to Myra and just, boom, pops her right in the face.
Punches her out.
Betty's so cool.
Just immediately jumps into the driver's seat. And it's like, okay, well, that was an easy situation to handle.
That just kind of ended.
Yeah. And Moochie and Laura are trying to read the incantation, but Carl got into the back of the pizza van and is pulling Moochie into the back, horror movie style, to beat him to death.
Yeah, so they're doing parts of the incantation, and so once again you're getting kind of him in the car half turning out of a dog and being ah.
And then eventually they crash the wedding. By that I mean they drive all the vehicles into the wedding, crashing everything and destroying the wedding.
And also Cake
this
Guy
thing has
just
a
kind of
budget.
falls over.
Yes. And then they all get out of their cars. Wilby's a human again. The cops stop Moochie. He's like, hey man, you stole a pizza van. Oh yeah, that's because there was this guy Carl in the back. He's talking about a guy turning into a dog. He thinks he's a butler. Human mind. Scary fucking thing, man. Anyways, I gotta go.
It's the one time Moochie has been rolling ones on charisma checks the whole goddamn movie. And then all of a sudden he just becomes the smoothest operator of all time. He's like, yo officers, I got insurance, but this dude, whoa, check him out. Anyway, see ya. And just walks away.
It's scary. He says it's scary the depths of the human mind or some shit like that.
Yo.
It's just really philosophy from Moochie. Thank you. And then everybody sets up for the wedding just immediately. They all sit down, the guests sit down, they have the wedding, but they can't find the ring. And Moochie's like, I got a ring right here, pal. It's the magic one.
Yep.
And then they drive off into the sunset. Betty starts reading the incantation, and it ends the movie. Cool. But, it's just goofy, wacky fun.
Yes.
Throughout.
It is very classic comedy. Of that era.
I would say largely
Of the
wholesome.
80s?
Well,
Of
okay.
the 80s.
You know what I mean.
Yes, no, I know. I just wanted to point out again that like this movie is so weirdly out of time.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a slapsticky, like late 60s, early 70s movie, and instead it's like, no, this is 87.
Late 80s. Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But it's just very, like you said, it is one of those movies where, yes, it's a lot of tropes. It's all of the like regular slapstick stuff. Like you know the plot of almost everything that happens, like 30 minutes before it happens. You know exactly how most things are going to resolve. But it's the delivery of the lines and the way that they do stuff that's just, like, it's really, really well done for the slapstick stuff. And there's something to be said about delivering a joke and then delivering a joke with a dog in pajamas on screen at the same time. Somehow, it just goes up a couple of notches every time that you have that dog there.
Because this is the same year as Spaceballs.
Yes.
87.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
And it feels like that type of comedy that they were definitely going for. So the comedy, I think, is a mix of that 50s, that 70s, that definitely 80s comedy. And they do it so well for a TV movie.
Yeah.
This wasn't supposed to be a big popular thing.
Yeah, if you had told
And
me
it
this
died
was
immediately.
in theaters, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I'd have believed you if you said that this was a theater movie. It's you can tell that it's cheap in some ways,
Yes.
though. Like, it's not quite to that quality. Because one of the most obvious things is, as you mentioned, Boix, a couple times, we would get these weird cuts and you'd be like, commercial time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, right, yeah. Like, they would end a scene and it would end in a way that was, like, a little more sudden than you'd expect. For like a movie, and you're like, oh, that's strange. Oh, right, yes, this is the commercial break. Like it was like a good stopping points in the movie. There was obvious commercial break moments, and it's like, oh god, yeah, it's totally a made for TV kind of movie. But you forget about it while you're in it because it's just, it's got good actors, it's got good sets, it's got good jokes,
and I think this is also a good opportunity to mention how important film preservation is.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason we're talking about this is because somebody uploaded it to YouTube 2 years ago.
Yeah.
God, only 2
That's
years
the only
ago,
thing.
huh?
Only 2 years ago. Like, otherwise this thing is lost media.
Mhm.
Like, it's just gone. Right? So, God, it's so important that film preservation
Yeah, on a serious note,
preserves
100%.
this and not Tim Allen movies.
Right, yeah, exactly. But, like,
Yeah.
no joke, this thing is, I mean, it's certainly not, despite the reference, it's not Citizen Kane, but, this is a worthy piece of art. Like, this is one of the better movies that we've reviewed on this podcast, I would say. Like, I would say this
It's
is
one of the more movie movies.
Yeah, I mean, this works as an actual film. Like, this is just a movie, and it's a pretty decent one. Like, it's not amazing, but I laughed quite a bit. Like, there's a lot of really good moments in this. Like, if you heard the full viewing audio of us doing this, there's a lot of genuine laughter throughout this film. This film is kind of a joy.
And we have Kobuddy to blame for that. What the fuck were you
Yeah,
thinking?
thanks for picking... We're supposed to be about bad movies, Kobuddy.
How dare
At
you?
least,
Boix, I think that we should get rid of our new co-host.
well, that's fair. Because I'm looking at what you offered me. You offered me The Return of the Shaggy Dog.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
You offered me Heck's Way Home,
That dog's named Heck. How could it be bad?
which I thought that was a fucking, I forget his first name, but Cleese, the Faulty Towers and all that.
John Cleese?
John Cleese, yes.
Yeah.
And the Skateboard Kid 2.
Skateboard Kid 2. That movie has to be great. It's got a dog on
Well,
the cover.
It's got a sequel.
Well,
The first one was good enough that it made a second.
I mean, so in comparison to the trash I gave you,
oh hey, I just remembered something also. And this ties into Boyce's politics shit from earlier.
oh,
So you remember
Yes,
when you
go
had
on.
me on for Three Ninjas, the whatever?
I do. Yeah, the Hulk Hogan movie.
Did you know
yeah.
the director is directing a Reagan biopic?
Well, anyway, let's rate the dog.
Yes. So I counted 2 dogs during this movie. We have
technically, I think, yeah.
Technically
we have
speaking, yeah.
what?
Well, is it 1 dog or 2 dogs? Right?
That's a real philosophical question, actually.
Because there's the dog, which is the one that's given away at the beginning of the movie and is
That doesn't do
owned
anything.
by the rich guy. It doesn't do anything.
So
And then there's Wilby, who turns into that dog. So is that 2 dogs or 1 dog?
I'm just realizing. Wait. So
It's 2
this
different
movie
souls.
is answering like a heavy philosophical kind of question, which is, do dogs have souls? And it's
Yes.
saying quite equivocally no. So I'm gonna have to give that first dog a 0 out of 10. It is a soulless monster. It is a vessel for a man.
I think I would rate that more as Schrodinger's dog. As in, if you observe that dog, it exists. But the moment you stop observing the dog, it no longer does.
It becomes a man.
Yeah.
Boys, you haven't started Kingdom Hearts 2 yet, right?
I have not.
Okay,
This is a real swerve.
I was just...
Well, it's Roxy's nothing, right?
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna
understand
ask
a little
what
bit.
the dog's nobody was, yeah.
The nobody,
Yeah.
yeah. It's the nobody from Kingdom Hearts. I understand that reference.
Okay, but when are they gonna put the Shaggy Dog into Kingdom Hearts?
Now
It's a
you're
Disney
asking the
property.
real questions.
It's a Disney property. That's
Yeah.
All right, and anyway, I guess
should.
we should wait Wilby too.
Wilby got that dog in him.
Got that dog in him.
Got that dog in him. I would give Wilby a got that dog in him out of 10. I think that's a pretty fair rating.
I kind of love how at the end of this movie they don't solve any of the problems in a way.
Not really.
Like, because
Sure.
nobody knows that he turns into a dog still. He doesn't explain it to his wife.
Just Moochie.
The ad lady, nobody. Well, and Moochie already knew from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just a huge cover-up. They just lie to everyone for the rest of eternity. The ad lady is even like, wait, so she's just gonna get with the dog? And he's like, yeah, no, like, they're very happy together. And he's, like, leading her away as they're having the final conversation between her and Moochie. And she's just like, huh, you people over here sure do have lifestyles.
Yeah, she says, actually, I don't want to know.
You know what? I don't want to know what she does with the dog, actually. That's not my problem.
I don't need to know. You know what? I'm accepting of the furry stuff. I don't need to know about it. I'm just fine with it. We'll just put it there.
Look, there are powers beyond our comprehension.
And they're all contained in lawyer dogs.
Anyways.
Shaggy Dog
I guess
returns!
that's it. Yeah, I guess that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening, everybody. This has been Rough Cuts. You can follow us on social media on Blue Sky or co-host at Rough Cuts. You can also email us at roughcutscast@gmail.com. We have a Patreon, which helps support all the dumb shit that I do to get films.
And we just got a new patron, by the way, so thank you very much for that.
Oh, sick. And also we had our cool guest, Kobuddy. Is there anything you want to plug, Kobuddy?
So you're gonna have me on for the Reagan biopic, right?
The what? Is Reagan a dog? I don't know. I don't want to know.
He's a bad boy. I don't want
to know that, actually.
Come on. Didn't you see the nice little bed I made for him in the file drawer?
You put pajamas on a dog.
I think we should arrest all British people. Just to be safe, you know?
Beautiful ring.
Just until we know what's going on.
It says,
Wow, I can't believe that my co-hosts are both anti-immigrant.